best friend had passed away. He was like everything to me. When he had passed, it was very hard, but it's not the main reason for my depression. There's a lot of reasons for my depression.
Kayla and I met on college orientation day, and I approached her first. And from that point on, like, we just started to grow like a close bond.
In college, I went into rugby, and what I liked about it was the togetherness. It was like a one team, one family, and I definitely made some of my lifelong best friends. My sophomore year of college, the feeling of being alone just really hit me. It got to the point where I didn't do my laundry for a couple months because I was so depressed. I didn't want to get out of bed. I distanced myself away from my family and friends. I wasn't getting up for school. I wasn't going to classes. I just wanted to just sit in my room and sleep all day. I was failing. I failed.
Every time I would usually like invite her to places, she'd rather stay in the room instead of come outside. Another thing was her constantly like crying, or like her anger, like her mood would change from like time to time.
I was drinking. I was using drugs and alcohol as an escape from my feelings. I found myself in a situation where I had almost lost a good friend because I told her like just disrespectful things about herself that I would never do.
I had a sense that she was struggling like in the beginning when we first started rooming, because like she was like constantly sad and crying, and she would always like mention to me like how she's homesick.
When someone is feeling depressed, it can feel like a lot of different things. For some individuals, they describe depression as, a lack of motivation to do anything. For some people, it feels just like deep and profound sadness. But a common theme is really an emotional pain.
I've kind of faced depression like throughout my whole life. So there's like the grief, there's the guilt stage, there's the sleeping where you just sleep so much, but then you can't sleep at all. Sometimes you're really emotional on days and you can't stop crying. And other times you can't feel anything.
For me, when my depression hits, it often, when I'm around friends and stuff, on the outside, I look just fine. I'm lively and I'm outgoing, but it's when I get home and I'm alone with my thoughts and my feelings that I really like just become a completely different person. That sort of the stuff on the inside starts coming out.
It's important to recognize that mental health is similar to physical health in that it's something that we've got to be proactive in taking care of. Someone had the flu, someone had pneumonia, someone broke a limb, they would go see the doctor, they'd be treated. When someone is struggling with mental health disorders, it's really important to seek treatment.
I had a couple friends who really loved and supported me. One of my closest friends, she went to my high school counselor and was like, hey, my friend Connor, he's feeling really down about this and his whole life, and he needs help. And that really helped me out of my sort of, I felt like I was stuck in a hole and I couldn't dig out. But he sort of helped me figure my way out.
I asked someone who I knew was in therapy. I was realizing that, things weren't getting better, with my depression and my self-harm, and I had to do something about it. And I went and I asked her, how did you get into therapy? Because at that point I was in college and the college offered counseling. And she really pushed me because I wasn't sure. She told me to get an emergency evaluation. I didn't want to go. And she dialed the phone of the counseling center on my phone and hit dial and handed me that phone. And essentially kind of forced me to take that phone call. And I went in. And that little gesture was what started my treatment. I honestly think if that wasn't for her, I wouldn't have gone sooner. And I feel like I owe her almost everything.
It was years until I was able to finally reach out and saying that I'm not the only one who goes through this, and that if anything, the experiences I've gone through have made me stronger as a person today.
What it was me learning to just actually go to therapy and talk about the issues that were really deeply bothering me, and being with other people who understand what you're going through, and it makes you feel really less alone.
I felt relieved. Like, I felt like, wow, finally, I'm not carrying this burden on my own. Finally, someone's able to listen to me. Finally, someone knows what this is. There's a name for it, that other people deal with it.
When I was struggling in college with suicide, it took me a very long time to finally tell somebody.
She just opened up and told me that she was suicidal.
I told her that I was going to kill myself.
I didn't think that her depression would get her to that point where she would feel suicidal. I appreciated her telling me that, because not a lot of people have like the gut to tell someone that they're close with or a loved one, like, wow, like, you were like in my face, like, on the point where you just want to take your life away.
And she told me that I needed to get help.
I convinced her to go to counseling because it was the best option for her to do.
And what I did was I went to the counseling center at my school, and that was probably the best decision that I made. What I've learned to cope with depression is to definitely just communicate your feelings to people who you feel comfortable with. Go to a support group, go to your family members, anybody, to just, get those feelings out there.
Kayla's a very strong woman. She excelled from the time I met her to now, and I'm glad that she's getting the help that she needs.
I'm proud of myself because I made it. You always hear stories about people not making it, and I'm happy I did.
If I could go back and tell myself one thing, to myself, be kinder to me, and to treat myself the way I treat my best friend, with all the love and care, and to remember that it's okay to take care of yourself.
I would tell myself that you should have got help earlier.
I would tell myself that it's okay to feel what I'm feeling, and that it's okay to tell someone else what I'm feeling, and it's okay to open up both to myself and to others.
I would tell myself that the bravest thing you could ever do is get help.